Are guys like Tomasi and Travis close to being where you need them to be? Or
no, Travis. I mean, Travis is probably not going to play the rest of the year. I don't know if Galani's mentioned that, and I normally don't talk about injuries, but he's dealing with his deal. And Tomasi's close. He's close to coming back. I don't know if how ready he is to play, but Butch is back and looking better. Practiced yesterday without a brace and all that, so it's good to see him back.
Talk about the defensive line. You know, losing Travis obviously is a big impact on that, but you've had a lot of guys that have been shuffling in and out already. Just
next guy's got to be ready to step up, and can't really spend much time as far as who we could have had and what we could have done. Is this next guy's got to be ready to play. So young guys are doing a better job. Thought Vita Molnar's this week off was good for him because he had a couple of shoulder injuries, and Kesney and Hanson with his elbow and all that stuff. And so those guys will be back, and they'll get plenty of reps to get ready for this game.
One of the things Harvey Longy talked about yesterday was the importance of making the Cincinnati quarterback dance in the pocket, not allowing him to get comfortable. How are the guys coming along as far as being able to do that on the defensive front?
I think they're coming along. It's a concept that isn't really based off of an individual. Individuals will make the plays, but they've all got to understand that they all fit into a piece of the puzzle when you're trying to get the quarterback to get his eyes off the coverage and get his eyes down. And they're doing a really good job collapsing the pocket, trying to keep things contained and getting him to move his feet. So it's coming together as a group slowly.
Harvey was pretty critical of his play. Do you see it that way?
Which play is that?
Oh, just overall.
Oh,
he said he felt
yeah, he's we've had discussions several times just since we made the move, and his idea of being ready and prepared is different from some other kids that I've coached, as well as our vision of it. So he's doing a good job. He's obviously there's still things for him to improve on, but for him to feel like he's ready. We feel like he's doing a good job and making a contribution and still has room to grow, but his vision of what being ready and contributing is so much farther, surpasses what everybody else's expectations are, that he's got high expectations for himself.
So then, like, he said he sucks. So
no, he doesn't suck. No, he doesn't suck. He's just learning. Yeah, he's hard on himself. And he came in and said the same exact thing to me, and he was really good about it. Came in and said, Coach, these guys should be playing over me because I suck. I'm not very good. But I think in the big picture, and normally with other guys that we've moved back from DN to backer, they're a lot more stout taking on blocks when they move back to backer. Things move slower for them because their reaction time, the time that they have to react is a lot better. Guys from other programs. And so I think in the grand scheme of things, it's going to add to him being a better player at where he's probably going to end up being at the next level.
What was he hit you early, and then it seemed like was it adjustments then that you quieted him down?
It was there. They did a really good job. We practiced, we schemed them and practiced certain things, and they threw something new at us, and our boys didn't see it right away, but they made the adjustments later on. And then also we changed a couple of things that they did a really good job with, and so credit the kids and the players for making those adjustments and playing it.
Statistically, it looks like Cincinnati is more pass-oriented.
They are, yeah. Statistically, yeah, they are.
So is that what you expect?
Probably about the same, 60-40 pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does it say about your guys when you lead the nation in interceptions, or top 5 interceptions, but on the other end of the spectrum in pass defense? What is that? What can you read?
Oh, stats and all that stuff. Somebody asked me that question yesterday. The score is the number one stat that we track, and the next one is takeaways. First downs, all this stuff, third down. There's so many different stats that you can look and say, okay, we're leading the country in this, we should be good and all that. But, we're oriented towards making big plays, taking away big plays, and turnovers. And that's all that we focus on statistically because of defense. Give up 5 million yards if you can hold them to 0 points, and I'd be happy with that still. But our Toledo game, we gave up tons of yards and we gave up tons of points, and so you feel like you really got beat down on that one. But the other ones where guys are kind of moving the ball, and good offenses are going to move the ball. If you can keep them out of the end zone and get a couple takeaways and give your offense some possessions, you're better off that way. And so that's really at least the way that we pitch it to the kids, and the way we're oriented is more. They're going to get big plays, but we want to get more big plays, and we want to get takeaways.
Coaches Butch Pau'u fully healed up now that he's had all this time off?
Yeah, I don't know 90 whatever percent, but he's pretty close to being where he needs to be. And so, like I said, he practiced without a brace yesterday, and you know, trainers got mad at him and told him to wear the brace, and so he's wearing it today. And so he doesn't want to wear it, but they're making him wear it for his safety.
Are you prepping for all three quarterbacks, or
What's that?
Are you prepping for all three Cincy quarterbacks, or a specific one?
You know, they're all about the same guy, I think. You know, one guy looks like he has a better arm, but number 11.
Q?
Yeah, the one that's been playing the last 2 games. But they're all about the same guy. You know, not outstanding runners, but you know, decent runner, or at least can run. And I think a lot more pass oriented. So a lot of them obviously struggle, and the D line does a really good job. And so the focus for this week has really been the D line changing the game for us.
Do you watch film of what they've done this year, or do you go back to the last when you guys
You know,
played them last year?
we don't watch any of those stuff last year. It's all this year. We have plenty of games this year to go off of.
You touched on the health aspect of the bye week, of course, which is key, getting guys back as much as possible. But what else did you want the defense to come out of the bye week with, just as far as improvement-wise?
Better grades. That's about it. Grades and health. You know, we wanted to get away from football and let them be kids again and go to class and, you know, see that there's actually cute girls in their class instead of sitting there thinking about football. So,
How important is the emotional reset of a bye week, particularly this year with all the close games and the highs and lows that you guys have experienced?
you know, the kids do a really good job, and you know, credit goes to them as well as Kalani as far as the way that he's handled them and getting them to get over games. And you know, you don't see clouds over here after we lose, and the kids are up and going. And I mean, even on the bus going to the plane and the plane coming back, you know, some coaches like it dead quiet when you lose, and some of them, you know, want you to get over it. Kalani's just one of those that, you know, the game's over, go back and, you know, we'll hit the drawing board and fix what we need to fix, but let's not let this thing, you know, hurt us for the next couple of games. And so the kids are bought into that, and I think they're good with it.
Did you guys do that on the road to recruit last week?
We did, yeah, we did. About, I think everybody went out for a little bit, and then some of us are still out until Sunday.
Is that something you need to do as far as targeting guys more specifically now that you're having a full cycle to recruit the defense that you're looking to play?
Yeah, you know, and I don't think it changes anywhere you go, whether it's a new staff or an old staff. You got to get back out and get some depth to the deficiencies of what you think your defense or offense has, and just get out there and you know, touch bases with coaches in your area. And you know, sometimes it's hard to get out and recruit a kid from a school and you never showed up in that area for the last 8 years. You gotta show up, and you gotta touch base, and they gotta know who you are. They gotta trust that they're sending their kids to a good program, and a coach is gonna take care of them. So that's part of it too, building the relationships and just kind of keeping your pulse on your area.
Is that with you and Kalani being at various places, then continuing the contacts that you made at other places too?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the same with all the other coaches, you know, that been here recruiting, and younger coaches that haven't. It's just kind of getting out there and flying our colors and letting people see us, as well as keeping those connections going.
When you speak of depth, I guess you're talking about every position, anyone that you would highlight?
Yeah, you know, obviously we've got backers coming out our ears, and so we've got a lot of those, and so, you know, primarily for us it's secondary and D tackles. I feel like we've got a lot of depth coming back at the ends, and just numbers. You know, we don't really have numbers to replace those guys, but the D tackle spot might be looking for a guy, and definitely looking for a couple of DBs.
As far as D tackle goes, how's Hanson's progress been so far this year? Where's he at?
You know, last game I thought was his best game since he's been here. And before that, the Michigan State game was his best game. And so he's getting better slowly. You know, he's a good kid, and he tries hard, and you know, just some of the things that works at the JC level you can't get away with when you're playing against, you know, really good players that are coached well. So he's figuring it out, and he's coming along. So he's playing. He's doing a good job contributing.
Last question.
You mentioned the turnovers. What you attribute to the success this year, forcing turnovers this year?
Good players. That's it. I mean, we've been on teams where we did have good players, and it was a big emphasis and part of the practice, and it almost becomes one of those deals where you're like yelling, catch the ball so much, and everybody's kind of nervous, and it lands in your hands and you drop it. So we just, you know, I haven't talked much about it besides our goals. We want to get 3 takeaways a game, and after that, the kids go out and just do it. So nothing to have to do with coaching or any of that. It's just them being good players. Ball hawks, guys like Kai and, you know, Francis, corners stepping up too. So Fred.